This latest episode of the Wildcat Alley podcast was sponsored by our friends at Underdog Fantasy. And just a reminder, you can join the Underdog Fantasy family and use our promo code WCA24 for a match up to $100. So again, use code WCA24 on Underdog Fantasy for your free deposit up to $100. Lock in. Let's get going. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 9 of the Wildcat Alley podcast. We're in season 2. I got my boy Juice Thompson here. I'm Alex Marcotullio, ready to break down March, man. We're here. We're finally here. It's the best month of the year. Obviously, a lot going on around the program. We have a really exciting episode ahead. Love to take a deep dive into what's gone on over the last couple weeks since we haven't gotten together. Want to break that down. Also want to look ahead, right? We have one more game left. We have Minnesota at home, and then we're on to the Big Ten tournament, and then hopefully the big dance as well. So got a jam-packed episode for you guys today. Juice, just want to kick it off. Hope things are well. It was great to see you at Alumni Day.
Yes.
And then obviously we had Billy McKinney's jersey retirement, which was a really special moment. So tell us how that went down and how special that was for people that weren't there.
Yeah, I think it was a great day. You know, they did the ribbon cutting ceremony for Billy McKinney for the balcony that he has, and being the first Northwestern athlete to get their, uniform retired, the jersey number. That's a big deal. So many, former players that played with us a little bit after us and way before us was there. So it was good to see, everyone come out. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but, for Billy McKinney to, what he's done for the university, the program it was exciting. It was real good to be there and see a lot of old familiar faces, see you. You'd see Danny C. Drew's dad was there, a lot of other people. So I think it was a good turnout. Just unfortunately, we've been hit by that injury bug and, we weren't able to pull out the W. But, what were your thoughts on it? And, hopefully we can see some more uniforms retired up there soon.
Yeah, I thought it was super special. I loved the way they did it. All the video tributes, all the things that they did throughout the game leading up to the actual jersey retirement at halftime. It was just a special day, right? Billy being surrounded by his friends, his family, his former teammates, coaches, mentees like myself and you, Juice, guys that were in the program when he would come speak to us, and all of the lives that he's touched across his unbelievable life and career. It was super special to be a part of and witness there firsthand. So I think the university did a tremendous job. Billy is obviously more than worthy of getting his jersey up there just for not only his athletic achievements, but what he has meant to the university and the players that have come through the Northwestern program. He really is a mentor and a role model for guys like you and I and so many others. So that was just really cool to be a part of.
Definitely. All right, with that, what were your thoughts on the game? Celebrated Billy, but talk about the game. What were your thoughts? What were the keys? How could we improve?
Yeah, man, I think we ran into a really hot ball club. I think I was really trending in a great direction, have played themselves onto the bubble. They could flat out score, and it was just one of those games where we just couldn't get them under control. When we would make a run, crowd would get back into it. They had every answer. Sanford and Josh Dix and Craigie hit some big shots too. So it was just one of those games where we couldn't really get over that hump and take the lead back. And credit to Iowa, they played great. They're tough to guard and they can really make jump shots. So there's a lot that we can work on. I think with us going bigger, we struggle with maybe some of those 4-guard lineups and offenses that have a lot of movement in them. Iowa's tough to guard as it is, but I think we just really struggled defensively when they got the mismatches that they liked. Josh Dix in particular was really good off the bounce, and then they just made shots. So I'll chalk it up to a lot of good offense there, but they did get a lot of good looks out of their motion and sets that they run. So again, credit to them, but I think we do have some improvement and strides to make defensively, right? But I will say it was a very clean game. It was a very efficient game. There's times I looked up at the stats and it was like, wow, Iowa's 8 of 16 from three. And then I look, I'm like, well, we're 8 of 16 too.
Right.
So it was like one of those games that was super clean. It was well run on both sides, and it came down to just being able to get stops. And Iowa did down the stretch. We had a couple late turnovers, and it was a tough hill for us to climb. But nonetheless, the effort was there. Big Mac going down obviously was a really tough thing for us. So we're really shorthanded. We don't know what his status is going to be moving forward. And it looks like he could potentially be out indefinitely. So, some other guys are going to step up. I look at Luke Hunger specifically. What can he bring to the table? How can he play aggressively and within his means without fouling? That's what I really look at because, Juice, as you know, like he's got to stay in the game.
Has to.
He's got to stay in the game. We can't play with Martinelli at the 5. We're going to get very small. We saw that against Michigan State. We got crushed on the glass in the second half. It seemed like we were stopping their initial surge, their first shot attempt every time, but they were getting 2-3 offensive rebounds in possession. You can't do that and succeed in the league, and we almost pulled that out. So, I talked a lot there, and obviously I have a lot of thoughts on what the state of the team is right now. Would love to hear your insight on what you think happened over these last couple of games. I know I kind of dove into Michigan State too. And then what do we need moving forward in order to be successful here over the last week?
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, we'll get all of our guys back. And, Big Mac going down against Iowa, that was huge. That really hurt us. And, the rebounding has been tough. And, going back to the Iowa game, you mentioned, Dix and Sanford playing well. And I think Perkins, as a point guard, I really think he's improved over the years. And I think he did a tremendous job. Even though he didn't shoot the ball well, he still had 14 assists. And Iowa's transition was –
he puts pressure on you.
Right. He's getting into the lane. He's pushing the ball down. Whether we make or miss a shot, he's getting in the lane and he's finding the shooters. And, from that, I mean, like you said, both teams shot, maybe 50% from three. But I think that was the difference because the fast break points, Iowa had the lead for that game 25-9. They were just getting what they want. They made big plays down the stretch. And it's starting to see that, we don't have the depth. We're down, Ty Berry being out. Ryan, he was hurt that game with the ankle injury, then Matt going down. But as you mentioned, people have to step up. And I think Blake Smith is doing a great job, as a walk-on, getting thrown into the fire. He's producing and giving us some big minutes. And it shows that, the coaching staff, they have confidence in him. And, that Iowa game when they lost, the last play, I don't know if you saw it, he turned the ball over, but I saw Boo get on him, telling him to shoot the ball. And that's showing that everyone has confidence in him. And that's a great thing. So now, we're just going to need the rest of the bench to step up. And I agree with you. Luke Hunger has to find a way to be aggressive, but stay out of foul trouble because when he gets in foul trouble, it's quick. He's getting those 2 cheap, quick fouls, and he's done that in multiple games, and we need him in there. And then you fast forward to Michigan State. The rebounds killed us. Hall, 15 and 17, and Malik Hall, Then he hit those 3 pull-ups right at the beginning. 17 rebounds, and they just dominate us on offensive glass. Even though they didn't convert and finish, but still, those extra possessions, that can wear on you mentally. You know how it is as a player. Teams are constantly getting rebounds, getting opportunities, getting shots. That can kind of wear on you and affect what you do defensively and offensively. So, hopefully we can get some rest and, take away the positives from these games. We were shorthanded, especially going to Michigan State, tough environment. Obviously, we had a lot of confidence going in, as Boo has been labeled, the Spartan killer or something like that. And we
average 18 a game against them or something like that.
Yeah, so, for us to come down and that shot that they drew up, that play they drew up for Ryan to get that 3, you can't ask for something better than that.
No. It's a great look.
Just to lose, that way, it's tough, but, you know how it is in the Big Ten. We have to be ready to bounce back and protect our home court. And, one thing that I love about Coach Collins from his press conference after Michigan State, he said with Big Matt, right now we're taking it, giving him the week off, keeping him on crutches, but, we're preparing to have him back for the tournaments. And he said plural, not just the Big Ten tournament. He's saying tournament. So that's just something, I love that. That's something that stood out. And, I want to see us get into that tournament. So obviously I know we're going to switch gears a little bit and figure out, our place and where we at in the tournament. But, we got Minnesota coming up after dropping 2 games, one at home, one on the road. What do you think, the keys going in? What do we have to improve on from those 2 losses and try to come back and get a win against Minnesota, who beat us out on their home court?
Yeah. This is a different Minnesota team, right? They pose a lot of matchup problems. They're big inside, right? They have Garcia, and Pharrell Payne has really come into his own and is a beast on the block. So that worries me, especially with the foul trouble that we talked about. We can't have our bigs in foul trouble. I think we need to get off to a good start, get the crowd involved. We've been good at home, so I think that's important. Then running them off the 3-point line. They have a terrific freshman in Cam Christie, who I think is an NBA talent and has really come into his own in the second half of the year. So they have a good mix of inside out game. Elijah Hawkins is a really good assist guy and on-ball defender. So that's going to pose a tough matchup for Boo, although Boo's bigger. I think we can run some good sets to maybe get Hawkins in foul trouble, and they're a different team when he's off the floor. They really are. We saw when he was out a couple games earlier in the year that their offense gets a little bit more stagnant because he's the guy that makes everything run. And then they have 2 shooters in Mike Mitchell and Cam Christie that can really knock down shots. So it's a well-balanced team. It's a good team. I don't think they have, depth as well. So once we get into that bench, they have Parker Fox that comes off the bench, but really they don't have much scoring that comes off that bench. So if we can get some guys in foul trouble, be aggressive early, I think we can take control of the game and hopefully ice this one away heading into the Big Ten tournament, get us some momentum. And also, let's talk seeding, right? You and I were talking before we got on the show. We get a win and a Wisconsin or Nebraska loss. We can be third. We can get that double bye. We can rest up and scout a little bit, but really just get our legs back under us, right? Because we're playing a lot of minutes. We got guys that are banged up and battered over the course of an entire 20-game Big Ten season. So that extra day is crucial. And then we talk about if we do lose, hopefully we don't have to go there. We could drop all the way as low as a 6 and then have to play on Thursday. So it's really a critical game on Saturday night in Welsh Ryan. Hopefully the place is going to be rocking. It's senior day for Boo. So I think it's going to be a special environment in there.
Definitely. And I agree with you. I think, the fans, I got the email that it's sold out. So, it's some hype and everything around it. And, I'm sure the fans and everybody's students going to come out and back the team. And we have to win. It comes down to it. Yeah. We've shown that we're good in these situations. You remember last season, it was pretty much, I think it was a bigger drop off. It was either second place or like 9th or 10th or something.
Nice. Yeah.
And we got a big win on the road. So, we're battle tested. We're banged up, but, we have the right mentality. All you hear in the press conferences, all the guys are saying, next man up, keep working hard. It's going to come down to, we got to defend, keep Elijah Hawkins out of that paint. Don't let them get those threes, get us scrambling on defense. Then we have to rebound. As you mentioned, they have some big guys. But if we can try to get them in foul trouble, like you said, because there's a little bit of a drop-off for their team once they go to their bench. So I think you get the home crowd involved and continue our streak at home. We only lost 1 game in the Big Ten Conference at home, so let's not make it 2. And then obviously let's go get that 3rd or 4th seed because that rest is important. As you mentioned, guys are banged up. Guys that got tape on their hands, ankles, ankle braces, leg sleeves. Like, as it's tough in the Big Ten. And like now we're at that home stretch, but I think the guys are mentally and physically prepared to really push through. And if we can get that rest, that double bye, I think that's going to be huge for us and leading, going into the Big Ten tournament. Then obviously the big dance where we'll be able to make history and go back to back. So the Big Ten Conference tournament, anything that stands out, anything you remember going into that you look forward to as we prepare and get ready for our second run of the NCAA tournament? Because, I'm claiming that we're in there. Anything you remember from the Big Ten tournament you're looking forward to this year? Any matchups? Who do you not want to play for us?
I think there's just so many moving parts that can still fall into place before the tournament. I
True.
think number one is, can we secure that double bye? I think that getting that double bye is so crucial.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, you and I, when we played together, we were undefeated in first round of Big Ten tournaments.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, second 2 times we ran into like top 5 teams in the country. We had to play number 1 Ohio State, and we had to play like number 4 Purdue the
Yeah.
other time. But you and I would get off on those games a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. We were ready for
Obviously,
those
you
back
still
to
hold the
back.
record. I know we talk about it like a lot, but
Yeah.
that record is pretty secure unless somebody really pops off for 36.
Yeah. Edie was close last year. I was shaking. I was at
Oh,
the game too. I was
that's the guy
nervous.
you got to worry about. I think he's the guy you got to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. But if I had to pick, I'm still going with Boo. I want him to just get hot and just go for 40 one day. Like, now's the time where we need it. But you're so right, though. It's so many variables because, Sunday is a big day. I think we're the only game on Saturday. Then there's so many games Sunday where, it really comes down to this final game. What's going to happen?
Everybody's jockeying for position.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like, okay, well, who do you want to match up with? I think it's just play whoever is in front of you, right? Like, let's try to get to play on Friday, number one, and then let the cards fall as they will. I think if we win against Minnesota, we're a shoe-in to the tournament. I see us right now as low as a 9 on any board.
Yeah.
But honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if we dropped to a 10. I really wouldn't. That would, because I think the 1 seeds this year are super strong. And I think the 2s, after that 1 line, I think, it becomes anyone's tournament. And not that it's not anyone's tournament now. Parity in college basketball has never been higher. And, the disappointing thing for me is I think without, like, barring any of these injuries, I think this team would have been a surefire Sweet 16 team.
Yeah.
I really believe that. They're very hard to prepare for. We prepare very well. We have hundreds of plays. You can't really go through all of them, especially on like a day rest.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And with the shooting and spacing that we had with Ty and with Nicholson rolling and, putting Langborg in there with, his dead eye shooting, and he's catching fire as of late. I thought we were a surefire Sweet 16 team. Now, don't get me wrong. Matchups and things change. Martinelli's really stepped up. I think we can win a game or 2 in the tournament still. I think that, the Sweet 16 is still a possibility. I think we go from a surefire Sweet 16 team to really having to grind out games and make sure we get the right matchups, and we got to play well. So it's an exciting time, man. It's great to be able to be talking about seeding and where we're going to be in the tournament, where we're going to play, and who the matchup's going to be, rather than being like, all right, Juice, we're going to sign off again after the Big Ten season. So you and I, since we've been doing this podcast, maybe we're the good luck.
Right.
We're bringing March to fruition for these guys.
Dude, yeah.
I'm just kidding. They're putting all the hard work in.
They definitely are. But no, we're backing them just like everyone else. And this is something we called from the first episode, even before. Just seeing them prepare in the summer and just the hype leading up to it. And then even, especially like when Boo announced he was coming back, we were all on board. We know what he's capable of, and with the coaching staff. So this is great because this is, as you know, over years, Northwestern fans, we haven't been able to talk about seeding in the NCAA tournament. Now we're doing this back-to-back years. So this is a great feeling. It's a great thing to see the program, how it's continuously going up. So
yeah, for sure. And I mean, I want to talk to you a little bit about these net rankings, right? Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I've read the explanation of it. I've read Twitter countless hours and trying to figure this out, to be honest. I'll just put us up against Mississippi State, for example, right? A team that beat us, but they are ranked 39th in the net, and we are currently 52. Okay, we're 20-10. They're 19-11. We are, let's go to quad by quad. We are 10-9 against quads 1 and 2. They are 3-8, 4-2, 7-10. So sub 500 against quads 1 and 2. And they also have a quad 4 loss like us. They're 6-1 in quad 4. We are 7-1 in quad 4. Both have no losses in quad 3. I don't get why we are 13 spaces behind them when we have a better record. We're better against quads 1 and 2, and arguably we have better wins. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around how this whole ranking system works. Maybe it's margin of victory. Maybe it's, home wins versus non-home wins. I don't know. But all I know is we beat a 1 seed, and we've beat probably Illinois being a 3 or a 4 seed. We beat Dayton. We've
they're up there.
We've beaten a lot of good teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we put our resume up against theirs. I just don't get the discrepancy. So that's me going off of my soapbox about the net rankings. I don't get it.
Yeah, see, I totally don't get it either because, as you say, some of our stuff is even higher and better. We beat even better teams. So how are we not up there with them? So, I mean, I guess that's something for them to figure out. But it's also a great conversation, a great discussion to have. But end of the day, long as we get in that tournament, I would love for us to match up with them again. We know how they were. They played. They caught us at the right time. But we can match up even with, the injuries that we have now. I think we would come back and get them. But that net ranking stuff, I totally don't get it. If we would have won, where are we going to go? Well, are we going to jump up there and be higher than them or what? So
I don't know. And honestly, I'm a big proponent of the eye test, right? I mean, if you have watched all of our games, which I'm sure the committee has, you got to look at us and be like, okay, this team can compete with anybody in the country, right? Mm-hmm. I've said this before. We're difficult to prepare for. We have a closer in Boo Buie, right? Somebody that can go get his shot, put up numbers. We have shooting. And then, now with the emergence of Martinelli, we've had a little bit, him and Brooks have become threats on the block to score, right? It's a little bit untraditional or non-traditional for, our 3 and 4 men to get on the block and score, but that's how we're built. And we run a lot of good stuff to get those guys in position to score, whether they're cutting or passing. And then obviously defensively, we've taken a little bit of a step back this year just due to our personnel and not having a true lockdown defender like Chase. But you look at our team defense, we're there, right? We're right there. And we just need to finish some plays. And I think, with that, some additional size inside and rebounding. And if we get Big Matt back, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with in a very difficult matchup that nobody wants to see when those brackets get released on Selection Sunday.
I agree. And like you said, we're super hard to prepare for. And as you know, in a tournament, you got 1-2 days to prepare for. And the way Collins, you touched on it a few times throughout the season on the different episodes. The wrinkles that he throws in the offense. We'll have that horns play, how you called it. And if the guys will run up and fake the bigs, and then they'll leave, give boost space. They were starting with the traditional horns, and then they added that wrinkle, and it's catching people off guard. So all of their quick hitters and stuff work. They got good baseline out of bounds plays, good out of timeout stuff. I think, we'll be good once we get into that moment, but we got to take care of business here first on Saturday. And it's exciting time. It's exciting time to be a Wildcat, man.
It really is. I mean, there's a lot of buzz around the program. This is something that this team has been an integral part of building the culture, the understanding of what it takes to win, right? And win at a high level. Again, I mean, you take a look, we already have 11 conference wins. A chance to get 12 conference wins in back-to-back seasons is a tremendous accomplishment, something that no team has ever done. And, every single person down the line on that team has played a role, starting from Coach Collins all the way through the staff, down to the grad assistants, to the managers. Yeah. Everybody that's been involved in the team deserves a pat on the back, deserves a shout out, and deserves to be in the tournament. So we're brewing something special in Evanston, and it's exciting to be a part of. It's exciting to talk about, and it's only begun, right? March has only begun. We have a lot of ball left to be played, and I'm excited to see what's left to come in the season.
Likewise. Let's pack out Welsh Ryan Arena tomorrow, send these seniors off the right way. And, for me, I played against Minnesota on my senior night. We got to get this win. We were able to pull it out. You and I have talked about it. You saved my behind on senior night against Minnesota. And then, we followed it up and played them right back to back in the Big Ten Conference tournament.
That's right.
So it's exciting. I'm glad, we get to, play Minnesota just based on our previous success. And, obviously this year they beat us, but it'll be nice to get a win on our home floor end the conference season on a high note, get prepared for the Big Ten tournament, and kind of get that, even out the score with Minnesota this year and go 1-1.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was the same way. They beat us at home. Then we beat them at home last game on your senior night. And then we played them in the Big Ten tournament. I don't think there's a way that we can match up with them in the Big Ten tournament, but nonetheless, let's get this dub on Saturday. Let's move forward. Let's lock in that 3 seed. Let's lock in that double bye, and let's set ourselves up for a good March and some fun basketball to watch. So I'll be in Minneapolis. I'm excited to attend the Big Ten tournament too.
Right.
We're gonna have another episode next week where we dive a little bit deeper once we know the matchups and everything like that, and hopefully have some special guests that will bring some great wisdom and expertise to the show as well. So looking forward to it, Juice. As always, sign us out, my man.
Catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everywhere you get your podcasts. Juice Thompson, Alex Marcotullio, Wildcat Alley. Shout out to Beyond the Big Ten. Go Cats.